All right, everybody. September 8th, 2023. My Buick LeSabre still not working. She's down. Um, Crank but no start. I just bought a new ignition control module. This one's made in USA. Wow, that's great. So you know it's going to work. And so far, the other day I changed my crankshaft position sensor. The old one actually smelled like it was burned out. It smelled like, that electronic type burn smell. But I changed that and the car didn't start. I am getting 12 volts to the ICM, ignition control module. I checked that. I just checked all my coils. They're good. They're reading zero point 0.4 ohms on the primary coils, 5800 ohms or 5.8 k ohms on the secondary coils. And I also measured from primary to secondaries to see if there was any shorting between the primary and the secondaries, and they were open. So that's good. So now I'm going to install the new ignition control module. I cleaned the base plate with a razor blade. My scraper with a razor blade. The base where the ignition control mounts onto. You want to clean all that residue off of there. And I used alcohol and paper towels and water. Slightly watered down isopropyl alcohol and paper towels just to fully clean it. Now I'm going to mount the coils. I disconnected my battery. I'm going to mount the coils and the ignition control module. I put all the insulators in. There's 3 on the coil 12 volt terminals. Put those 3 in. And then the one that I use, the end of a pen cap, the plastic part of a pen cap to push in, is the one that goes inside on the big connector with the there's many pins sticking out on that big connector on the ICM. You got to push that silicone insulator in there. Just be careful. Do it little by little. Don't bend any of the pins. As you can see, disconnected negative battery terminal, 8mm. That's good. Okay, so the ignition control module is sandwiched between the base and the coils. So these 6 bolts go through the ignition control module and into the threaded holes in the base. So the way I did it was I put the middle coil in first, left bolt, then right bolt. Then I kind of alternated just by hand, just turning the socket till it was seated. But I didn't tighten it yet. Then I did the top one, left bolt first. You do the left bolt, you hold the right bolt in your pocket so you don't lose it down in the motor. So you get the left one threaded where the contacts are, because you're going to slide this over the contacts nicely. You'll feel a little resistance. And then the right one. Then I kind of go left, right, left, right, left, right till it's all the way down. Then I did this one last, the third coil, this bottom one last, left bolt, then right bolt. Then you push this connector in, pink wire to the left, and you push it in as much as you can by hand, but then you have to draw it in using the bolt. But don't over tighten the bolt. Once you start feeling some resistance, you should stop because you don't want to crack the connector. So now I'm just going to put my spark plug wires in. Now mine are numbered and then numbered correctly, so that's pretty easy. 632541. Okay, so I just popped in the wires. 632541. Double check, make sure they're right. You should hear a nice click or feel a nice click. These are Delphi wires. They're really nice. They give a nice positive click when you're pressing them on, so there's no question about whether they're on tight or not. So that's about it. Just gonna connect the negative of the battery with the 8mm socket and we're done. All right, we're in the car. I just opened the windows because it's very hot out. So let's give it a go. I think I got it. I think I got it licked. I think the old ICM was measuring the center positions, was measuring different. I was getting different resistance measurements than the outer 2 positions on the old ICM. So let's see, my battery's a little low, but she should still start. Ooh, it sounded like she tried to start. Son of a bee. The Buick is alive. So that means the new crank position sensor I put in is good. And so is the ICM. So everybody, just to reiterate, the problem with this car was crank no start. Let that battery charge because she's a little low from troubleshooting. So the new ICM worked. Car's so smooth. So to reiterate, I was coming home from work. She's running a little rough at a light, but she got me home, smooth sailing. The next day, went to start at nothing. So there you go, was the ICM. See ya. Good afternoon, everybody. Here's a test I did on my ICM, ignition control module, for my 2002 Buick LeSabre, while I was waiting for the new part to come in. By the way, this new part works great. There's the part number. WVE is the company. And how long it will last, I don't know. But my car started with it, so that's a plus. So anyway, going across the outputs to each coil with my positive lead always to the left and my negative lead to the right. Now, meters read differently sometimes. So this would be considered the top coil output, and I get an overload, okay? Now let's go over to the bottom one. I get an overload. Open circuit is what that means in electronics. And then I go to the middle one. And why am I getting 18.39 meg ohms on the middle circuit, and I'm not getting that reading on the outer two coil circuits? So this made me smile because I was like, yes, something's wrong here. Something's wrong. Now, this is just a static reading. I don't know the schematic to this coil module, but it does tell you that something's wrong. Now, one side of these is your negative, is your ground. Okay, this terminal, this you're going to get 0 ohms. If you don't get that, then something's wrong. See, 0 ohms. So 3 of these terminals are just shorted to each other. 0 ohms. Let's see if, I think this is ground too, I'm not sure. This base here. No, that's not actually grounded, this base. Is this grounded? No. So that's not grounded. I'm getting a high resistance there. So what I'm going to do, and now I also got a different reading to ground. So I'm going to put it on the high terminal. This is actually the top coil. This is the middle, and this is the bottom, because this is the connector. It's just on the bottom. So let's go from the high terminal, the 12-volt terminal, to this piece of metal here. And that's an open circuit. So let's move it to the middle one and go to this piece of metal here. And I get something. Why? What is wrong with this middle circuit? I'm getting 15 ohms here. I'm sorry, 15 meg ohms. So that could be a transistor on its way out. That's the way it would look. It's no longer able to hold off the voltage that it's designed to hold off. And then let's go to the bottom coil. Overload. So as you can see, different readings on this. So I don't know if this is a legitimate way to test an ICM, but I can tell you that this ICM went bad on my car and prevented my car from starting. So I replaced it today with the WVE part. So I just wanted to make a video showing that this middle circuit definitely was getting different readings, and this is what first tipped me off. When you go between the two, I was getting a reading in megohms, but when you go on the other ones, I get an overload. Complete open circuit on these two outer ones, the top one and the bottom one. Now, is the middle one supposed to have different readings? I don't know, because I don't know the circuit in this ICM. But these are the readings I was getting. And for some reason, this one is kind of leaky between these two terminals. Something's going on there. I'm assuming these three outputs are similar circuits. And why is the middle one getting a different reading? So that kind of tips you off that there's something wrong here. Also, on my coils, I have Delphi coils. No, I have Delphi wires. I have coils with the numbers on them, so they might be original coils. On all my coils, I read 0.4 ohms on the primaries. That's on the two little female holes on the bottom there of the coil. I stuck a paper clip in. You stick paper clips in them because these probes don't fit. The probes for my meter don't fit, so I just stuck a paper clips in them. So I got 0.4 ohms, less than a half ohm, 0.4, not a short circuit, but 0.4 ohms on the primary coil, and I got 5,800 ohms on the secondaries of all three coils. So those are within spec. So I did not change my coils. I just changed the ICM. Okay, bye. Hope that helped you. Bye. Oh, I also changed my crankshaft position sensor. I did that first, and then I got no start still. So it wasn't that, but I'm glad I changed it. I mean, it was 21 years old, made in Mexico, and I put a brand new, where is it? Here it is. Brand new AC Delco part in. So she's good to go, and she's happy. All right, thanks for watching. Hope this helped. Bye. Incidentally, just a word of caution. Don't make measurements on your new ICM, because you can actually zap it with ESD, electrostatic discharge, or you can just zap it, and you could damage a perfect part. So I did not, I just want to make this clear, I did not make measurements on the new part. I just installed it. I made measurements on the old part, because you can damage something if you don't know what you're doing, or if it's a very low humidity, and you could create a ESD situation and zap the transistors inside this thing with either your fingers or your meter probes. So I just want to let you know. Okay, bye.